The weather at the moment is, let's be honest, a little bit depressing, so there's only one thing for it, and that is a hearty and comforting stew. In today's video, I'll be showing you 2 budget-friendly stew recipes. The first is Tuscan style and features creamy beans, and the second is inspired by Georgian cuisine and features wholesome purée lentils. Both are easy, one pot, and come in well under £1 per portion. So let's get cooking. We're going to start by getting a large pan over a medium-low heat. And then once that pan is hot, we can go in with a couple tablespoons of olive oil, or just a little veggie stock if you want to do it oil-free. Olive oil really lifts this dish, so if you can get a good quality extra virgin one, that's going to be great because it's going to add a nice luxurious mouthfeel and a peppery and fruity aroma. Next we'll add in our sofrito, which is onion finely diced, celery, and carrot. And we'll let this sweat down for about 10 to 15 minutes until it's soft and starting to caramelize ever so slightly. You can add in a nice pinch of salt as well to help draw out the moisture and get it sweating really nicely. I like to add in my more sturdy herbs now, such as the rosemary and bay leaf. As they're a bit harder, the flavour is going to take longer to infuse into the dish, so I like to get them in nice and early. If you're feeling a little bit spicy, then you're welcome to add in a few chili flakes, or a lot of chili flakes. Carrot, celery and onion are really affordable, but they make a great start to a stew, adding lots of really nice sweet and aromatic flavour. Especially the celery, I think, adds just a really nice sort of freshness to the dish. With simple recipes like these ones, it's all about getting the most out of your ingredients. Treat each ingredient with love and care and you'll get back what you give. For example, with the sofrito, you don't want to rush cooking this. Give the vegetables time to release their natural sweetness and caramelize slightly. Once your sofrito is about 2/3 of the way done, we're going to add in some dried herbs. I've got oregano and thyme here. Also going in with some minced garlic. And we'll just let this cook for a few more minutes. It smells absolutely incredible already, which is always a good sign. Your sofrito is ready when the celery and onion is starting to go translucent and the carrot is nicely softened around the edges. We'll now go in with a couple tablespoons of tomato puree. If you can, buy jarred tomato puree. It won't have that slightly metallic flavor that the canned or tubed tomato puree has. And we want to really cook it out, get it nice and caramelized on the bottom of the pan, as this will create lots of deep, rich and umami flavor in these Tuscan beans. So just spread it out so that it all gets nice and caramelized. At this point, you could deglaze the pan with some wine. White wine would add a really nice sort of floral, light flavor, and then red wine would give it more of a sort of deep, fruity flavor. I'm going to keep it simple and budget-friendly today and just use the veggie stock. So just pour that in. This is one of those annoying jugs that spills everywhere. And in goes our chopped tomatoes. Then add in your white beans. You can use any variety. We'll bring this to a simmer and I'm just going to season it really generously with some black pepper and a pinch of salt, or 2. And I'm going to keep the lid off this time as I want it to reduce and thicken up nicely. Once that's bubbling away nicely, we're going to turn it down to a simmer and let it cook for around 30 minutes. Just make sure to give it a stir every now and again to make sure nothing is sticking. Okay, so this is reducing nicely. You can see where the sauce previously was and it has reduced down and become nice and thick. This is almost like a really fancy baked beans and I think it's nearly ready. I want it to be slightly thicker, so I'm just going to give it 5 more minutes. And I think I'm going to be serving it with some vegan sausages on top. That's going to be really delicious. Maybe some potatoes on the side, not too sure yet. This would be great just on its own with rice, with pasta, over a jacket potato. So many good options to enjoy these Tuscan beans. So that is looking exactly how I want it, really nice and thick. And you can now finish it off with a little bit of acidity if you want to. For a more fresh finish, you could go for some lemon juice. I'm just going to do a little bit of balsamic vinegar. That's be nice and sweet and tangy, but also add that acidity that helps sort of cut through the creaminess of this stew. Just make sure to give it a taste and adjust the seasoning to your liking. Really good. Just a little bit of extra pepper and that's perfect. So there you go, really simple, really nourishing and budget friendly. So I was watching a TV show about Georgian cuisine and this dish is inspired by what I saw. They use walnuts to give body to their dishes. They also use lots of lovely warm spices and fresh herbs. We're going to start this stew by making a really nice aromatic paste in our pestle and mortar. I always like to put down a tea towel so it stays in place and I don't damage my chopping board or a work surface. So into this we're going to add some coriander seeds, lovely and citrusy and bright. Then some cumin seeds. I've got a pathetic amount here, so I will have to add some ground cumin afterwards. So that's everything for now. We're going to grind that down into a nice powder. Put your hand over to stop them from flying everywhere. I was going to add fenugreek seeds, but I only have ground, so we'll just add that in afterwards. Don't have to go crazy, just get it mostly ground down. And then to that we'll add some garlic. I'm just adding 2 cloves because they're absolutely huge. Some fresh chili, seeds removed from me, but you can keep them in if you want to. Then I've got some coriander stalks here. I'm just going to give them a quick chop through, just to get them a little bit smaller. And then they can go in as well. And then just a small handful of walnuts. They're going to add a really nice nutty body to this stew. And then we're just going to grind that into a paste. I'm going to start by sort of doing a bashing technique, keeping my hand on top to stop it from flying everywhere. Adding a good pinch of salt is going to help break down the ingredients and extract some of the moisture, helping you to break them down. And then once you've got a paste that looks something like this, we'll add in the dried spices. Don't worry if there's a few larger chunks of chili or garlic or the coriander stems. It's absolutely fine. The stew has been cooked for a decent amount of time, so they'll just cook down into it. So I'm going to add a little bit more cumin, as I didn't have many cumin seeds. And then some fenugreek. This has a sort of bitter, mapley, almost slightly earthy flavor. And a little smoked paprika. I'm going to add a small drizzle of oil. You don't need much, as the walnuts would have released their natural oils into this paste. Starting a stew with a bold paste like this pretty much guarantees that the final dish will be packed with aromatic flavor. I've just had this pan preheating for a couple of minutes and we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, maybe a bit more. And of course, as usual, you can go oil free and just use a little veggie stock. Then we're going to go in with some onion. Once again, some carrot, because it is a great budget-friendly veggie option, and a nice pinch of sea salt. Quick pause in the cooking to show you the purplest smoothie you've probably ever seen. Got a load of blueberries in there. It's gonna be super healthy. And just like with the sofrito, we're gonna cook down the onion and the carrot until it starts to get soft and slightly caramelized. Once you're just about getting some color onto those onions and carrots, you can add in your paste. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of tomato puree with the paste. And then we'll fry off that paste, stirring fairly regularly to ensure it doesn't burn. And you're going to smell all those incredible aromatic flavors now releasing from the paste. Just break it up into the carrots and the onions and get it really nice and toasted in the pan. I'm also going to add a bay leaf. I actually forgot to add this in with the onion and carrot, but that's fine. So you'll probably fry off this paste for about 2 to 3 minutes. Some of it will get stuck on the pan, and that's exactly what you want because we're going to deglaze it now with the vegetable stock. So in goes the veggie stock. We'll then go in with our lentils. If you want your lentils to be really soft, then you can pre-soak them for 30-60 minutes in warm water. Personally, I like them to still have a little bit of bite to them. We'll just stir those through, and then we're going to bring it all to a simmer. And I'm going to place a lid on top just to speed up that process. This pan has a really heavy base, which is great for even cooking, but it does take quite a while to heat up. Okay, that is simmering away nicely. I'm going to pop the lid on now and cook it for around 20-25 minutes. I did add a little bit of tomato puree, so that can slow down the cooking of the lentils. I'm going to pop the lid on with a slight gap. I want a little bit of evaporation, but not too much. Okay, this is looking and smelling absolutely delicious. We've just got a few final touches. So we're going to go in with some lemon juice just to brighten it up. Then I've got some frozen spinach, another great budget-friendly option. And then in Georgian cooking, they use lots of herbs. So I'm going to add a big handful of fresh coriander and parsley leaves and just sort of wilt it in like you would with spinach. If you would prefer to have it chopped up, then you of course can do that as well. So stir that through, we'll cook it for a few more minutes and then that is good to go. And there you go, that is the finished result. Such a lovely hearty stew, really nice and nourishing. You've got the nutty lentils that go really nicely with the walnuts that we added, sweet carrot and onion, and then a lovely bit of freshness from those herbs and the lemon at the end. And it's also spiced really nicely. Thank you so much for watching. Give these stew recipes a go, and for some more plant-based cooking inspiration, check out this video.